What is up, my Ambers? Welcome back to my channel, girl. Today we are gonna do a personal Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me a whole bunch of questions, so we're just gonna get right into it, girl. Y'all just want to know everything, huh? I mean, I get it, but let's go ahead, let's get into it. I have not read these. I read some of them. Actually, that's a lie. I read some of them when they first started rolling in, but there's more, so let's just read. I'm gonna start from the bottom so that everyone gets a fair chance, like the people who asked me some of the first questions. Okay, some of these are gonna be personal, and then I'm just gonna answer some that you guys asked me. So someone asked, what advice would you give to a girl about to graduate and head off to college? First of all, I would say focus on school. Like, you don't need to be worried about boys. Like, that should just not be a thing at all. Obviously, like, during that age is time when like relationships and things happen like that, but like school is important, and it's the same thing as when you're in high school. Like, you should focus on school, surrounding yourself with a community of people who you want to be like. Just remember that the 5 people that you surround yourself around the most is the outcome of the type of person that you're going to become. When I was in college, I was working a lot and I did school, but I also got pregnant my junior year of college, and I was just very lost. You know, if I had found community earlier and was going to church and just had a group of people that could guide me in the right direction, or even a mentor, like, I would have been in a better position mentally, emotionally, and all of that. Like, you're there for one reason, and it's to go to school, and it's to get a degree. It's not to party, it's not to drink. Personally, don't think it served anything for me, and I don't miss any of it. So I would just say, make sure you're focusing on your school. Follow creators that, you know, can give you advice for certain like studying tips and things like that, because when I was in college, I was just so, I don't know, like, I just feel like I was so lost and just trying to be an adult and working full-time, literally just running myself into the ground. I never prioritized my sleep. I wasn't eating good things, because when you're in college, you just eat whatever you can, basically. That's why freshman 15 is a thing. And I just wasn't focused on my education the way that I would have wanted to be like now. My advice to you is to remember why you're going. Really pay attention to who your friends are and who you're hanging around, because those people are going to affect you in either a good way or a negative way, and I want the best for you. So just make sure that you're staying focused and remembering why you started, why you're there. The partying and things like that can come later if that's something that you want to do, but just try to find a good community, a mentor if you can. Stay focused, girl. You got this. Someone said, would you ever make more faith-based content? I love when you do. I find it inspiring. I definitely will once. I don't know. I just feel like I'm still such a beginner, and I've said this before in a video, that I want to get into a place where I feel like I'm able to lead you guys in the right direction, because I've been led in the right direction myself, if that makes sense. Still trying to find myself on my walk, and still trying to find what works for me, and becoming the woman of God that I want to be. And I don't want to be trying to teach you guys one thing when I'm trying to be taught myself. I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of wanting to keep my journey personal until I feel like I'm in a position of leadership to be able to lead you guys. But I do definitely want to integrate more of my faith back into my content. I feel like before I did a little overboard, and it was such a drastic change that it came off the wrong way. But you know, Jesus is literally my whole life. He is everything to me. I wouldn't be where I'm at without him and without the guidance that I get from the Lord. So I want to start integrating that back into my content, whether that's like putting a Christian R&B song behind a music video and things like that, because the truth is, I'm not the same person that I used to be, and that's because I got saved. I gave my life to Christ, and you know, my morals, my values, and just the way that I am now, the way that I speak, like, I don't cuss anymore, anything like that, it is all because I gave my life to Christ and I'm living for him and not the world. And people who don't know Jesus or anything like that, they wouldn't understand, and they don't. And that's why on TikTok I've gotten a lot of Christian creators have gotten so many hate comments, because when somebody doesn't make you comfortable in what you're doing, and it's kind of like the opposite of what's normal to society, like, they're gonna look at you and think you're crazy. Yeah, so I just want to integrate it in an authentic way where I'm still able to be myself and make content that inspires you guys, you know, motivates you guys to be the best version of yourself and push your potential, but also integrating my faith into that content, because without him I wouldn't be here, and without him I wouldn't have my platforms. Someone said, if present day Jade could tell 17-year-old Jade one sentence, what would she say? And that's so hard, because gosh, y'all, like, that's gonna make me emotional, because I was so lost at 17. I was so boy crazy. I would try to find my identity in relationships and through working at 16 and 17, and I was just I really needed like guidance. I wish I could tell myself that your identity does not come from dating boys. It does not come from working yourself into the ground at 17. You're so much smarter than you think you are, and stay focused on what you want to do and find yourself instead of trying to find yourself in other people and fix other people. Really just embrace being 17 and fulfilling what you were meant to do at that age, which was not to date, which was not to party, which was not to get involved, drama or things like that. It's to, you know, when I was 17, I graduated high school and then I went to college, and I just wish I was more focused on myself. I wish I could tell myself that you should be so focused on becoming the best version of yourself and figuring out what you like at that age, because boys are not it, okay? Someone asked, do you miss being blonde? I swear I literally just answered this the other day. Short answer, no, I don't miss being blonde. I don't miss my hair breaking off. It's finally growing out. Sometimes I do, like when I wear black, I miss how the blonde looked on the black and just how it made it pop. But overall, I don't miss being a blonde. I think it was an era. She was an icon. She was a legend, but I'm a natural brunette. I was born with brown hair. I don't know. I just think there's something special about like having dark hair, because with the blonde hair, I just felt like I looked so like fake almost, in the sense of like such like a like artificial level of beauty. I don't know how to explain it, but like that's just how I felt. I felt like I looked like a fake like Barbie doll, which I love that look also, but something about having the dark hair that I was born with just gives me that like sense of, I don't know, it's just like a sense of comfort, and just being able to get used to like the hair that I was born with. Like that's such a level up mentally for me, because before I just felt like I had to have the blonde hair, I had to have the tan skin, I had to have all that to look the best version of myself, and that's not how I was born. So yeah, we love the dark hair over here, okay? Someone asked, is this my forever house, the house that I'm in now? And no, it's not my forever house. I would never buy a house in this economy. This economy is insane to buy a house, and I just, no. Like, I want to buy a house when I know I'm going to be somewhere for years and years and years and years. Someone asked, how are you? All capital letters. Truly, all BS aside, how are you, mama? I'm good. I think lately with the way social media goes and just having so many people like perceiving your life, it can get exhausting mentally, because you're just like, I just want to create content and live. Like, I don't want to be picked apart every single day, but that's the name of the game. That's what comes with it. And I think sometimes it can affect my mental if I let it, but it's exhausting when there's just something every day. 9 times out of 10, it's just like nonsense, like things that don't make sense or have nothing to do with me, but my name is stapled on it. So I don't know. I feel like I've just been trying to get a hold of where my life is at now and the routines that I want to be in, and just still healing myself and things that, you know, God convicts me of, as far as like my pride, sometimes my jealousy, sometimes my insecurities and things like that. So I'm doing amazing, but I also am self-reflecting every day and just trying to become the best version of myself. And sometimes that can come with, you know, trying to take out all, just trying to like riddle with the worst parts of myself, and sometimes that can be hard and that can be mentally draining. And on top of that, being on social media, getting perceived all the time, and you know, just knowing that you're always gonna have a target on your back can be mentally exhausting at times. Other than that, like, I'm so grateful. I have a roof over my head, I have a healthy family, and I have everything that I could ask for. So other than that, like, I'm doing amazing, and thank you so much for asking. Someone asked, what would I do differently if I had another child in the future? And then also another person asked, am I gonna have more kids? I do want more kids. I didn't want to have more kids until I'm married, so I do plan on having kids in the future. And I think, you know, having my son at 19 really, it makes me sad, because I was literally just trying to make it through. I didn't know what I was doing. I breastfed him for like the first 8 months, and even that, like, I literally was just trying. I was just trying to get through each day as a mom. I didn't, like, TikTok wasn't really a thing back then. Like, it was, but it didn't have all of the content and the information on the app that it has now, which hopefully it doesn't get taken away. But before, like, I had no clue what I was doing, and I was literally just trying my best to be a mom at 19. I was just misinformed on a lot of things, and I wish I just would have been more informed on motherhood and, you know, how to be a good mom and a good nurturer. And, you know, know, I feel like every woman has like motherly instincts and things like that, and I definitely had those. Like as soon as I seen Prince, like he's my everything. But I do feel like, you know, you learn a lot from your first child. So with my next children, like I know that I want to be intentional with their health. I want to be intentional with like what they're eating, what they're learning, and I'm hoping that, you know, I'll still be able to work for myself when I do have more children so that I can spend more time with them. Because when Prince was little, I was working all the time, and luckily at the time my little brother was like 16. My like family would watch him and stuff whenever I used to work, but I don't really live that close to my family anymore. So if I was to have more children, like I would love to just, you know, have that one-on-one and be able to take care of them day in and day out. Like whenever Prince was little, as soon as like he hit 3 months old, I was going to work at 19. I was a manager at Zaxby's, and I would just have to take him to family members' houses and ask if they could watch him. It was just a lot. So I'm blessed and I'm grateful to be in the position that I'm at now, to be more hands-on. Okay, so someone asked, do I believe in waiting till marriage? And if you go back, I can't remember how many videos, but somebody asked me, was I willing to wait until marriage? And that was, I want to say probably like less than a year ago or a year ago or something like that, probably before I got baptized. And at the time I just didn't know that I could commit to waiting fully until marriage. But after I got baptized and I started watching videos on waiting until marriage and just purity, which was so new to me, like that was such a whole new world to me. I'm like, wait, oh my gosh, like I can save myself for my husband and things like that. And even though I did have a child at 19, and once like I realized that even though all the odds were against me and I had a child at 19 already, so obviously that means that I didn't wait until marriage. I knew that, you know, God would send me somebody who was willing to accept me for me and was willing to wait until marriage. And that's exactly what I did, girl. I waited until marriage, even though I had fell short early in my life before I found Christ. Like it's truly something so special to know that can save yourself until marriage and that you can save yourself for your husband, because that's how it's supposed to be. The world is going to make sleeping with multiple people sound normal, but that's not how it's supposed to be. And obviously, like, no judgment here, because I've been there, I've experienced that, and there's nothing to miss. There's nothing, it gives you nothing. So yes, I definitely believe in waiting till marriage. If you can, you definitely should. One of the books that really helped me, the first book that I ever listened to that actually brought that idea up to me, was The Love Everybody Wants by Madison Pruitt. Is the book that even like proposed that to me. I was like, girl, wait, what? Like purity? Like I was lost, girl. I didn't know anything about that. So yes, I definitely believe in waiting until marriage. I think it's one of the best things that a woman could do for herself. It's just, you know, love yourself so much and value yourself so much that you're not willing to give it to just anybody, and you're willing to keep that between you and the Lord until he gives you your husband. So yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. I feel like it's sitting on my chest at this point. I'll start with a question that says, does your man feel some way about you not revealing him? And the answer to that question is no, because my man does not want to be on social media. He does not like social media, and I am going to respect that. And I think what a lot of people have to understand is that when I first started social media way back in the day, I've experienced the whole couple channel thing. I would never do that again. I just don't want my relationship to be a part of social media, which is why I want to keep it off of social media. But it seems like the more I try to do that, the more people try to pick it apart and, you know, put their inputs in here and there, which is one of the reasons why I also don't want my relationship to be on social media, because I don't think that has anything to do with my content. My content is about me. My content is about, you know, being a mom and things like that. And my partner doesn't want to be on social media. He doesn't like social media, and I'm going to respect that. And I also don't want my relationship to be on social media, because I know what that's like. I've experienced it before. It's not fun. And I think that as a creator, like, that should be respected. I understand that when I was younger, I put a lot of my business out there. I've said so many things about my relationship, but we live and we learn and we grow. I'm 25 now. I don't want my content to be about my relationship. Like, I'm not a relationship page. This is not a couples channel. Like, I don't want that to be a thing. It's literally as simple as that. And like, I would really appreciate if you guys could respect my privacy and respect that I don't want my relationship online. And it's really sad to think that, like, I can say all of these things and people will go and do the exact opposite, because obviously there's something wrong with their heart posture and they're just hateful human beings. And like, I know that's gonna happen, but I don't want my relationship to be on social media. That's just not something that I want for myself anymore. When I was younger, I just felt like social media was like an outlet. I just feel like my relationship has absolutely nothing to do with my content at this point in time, but I can also understand that because I was a single mom for so long, it's exciting for some of my supporters to see that now I'm married and like I am finally in a healthy relationship, and you know, it's an exciting chapter in my life, but it's just not something that I want on social media. And I just really hope that you guys can respect that and just respect my privacy in that way, because I literally share so much of my life on here. Like, if that's the one thing that I can keep to myself, like, please let me keep that, because it means the world to me, and I am gonna respect my partner, and I also would not want my man flicked up on a camera. Like, let's be for real. Next question is how to let go of your BD, how to feel like you'll be okay alone. I'm gonna answer this without trying to get in my business, but I feel like when you've been hurt to the point of numbness and, you know, just giving someone as much grace as possible, it's easy to walk away and never look back, and that's what I did. I feel like if you're choosing to let go of the father of your child, they must have done something really wrong to you or hurt you in a way that you feel like you should leave. I feel like if you love yourself enough, you will leave, and you just have to know that, like, okay, I'm hurting, but I know that I deserve so much more than what this person did to me, and that's literally all you can do is just leave and become the best version of yourself. Take the time to heal, pour into yourself, and really find who you are. That's what I did. From personal experience, cheating is an absolute no-go for me, and because that's what I experienced, I would never go back to that. I don't know, I really hope that helps you, and just know that, like, you're worth so much more than what some people tried to put you through. People are going to treat you exactly how they feel about you, so you have to remember that when you're in a relationship or when you're dealing with somebody who you feel like is not treating you what you're worth. Obviously, everyone has their own flaws. I have my own flaws. When it comes to like cheating, abuse, physical, mental, any of that, like, that's absolutely not okay. You're worth so much more than that. Okay, someone said, what is my current favorite perfume or scent? I actually just put this in my last video, but it's Chance by Chanel, the pink one. I also have a lot more, but that's just like a staple for me. That's like my go-to, what I'm gonna use when I want to smell like me. Chance by Chanel, but specifically the pink version. Someone said, what made you turn to God? So for me personally, I knew that I was lost. I went to church growing up here and there, but I just never had like I would see videos of these girls who, you know, found Christ and things like that, and there was just something so different about them, a level of purity and maturity, and something so different that you obviously don't see in the world. You don't see with your typical Instagram baddie, you don't see with people who are involved in a whole bunch of drama and things like that. And I feel like girls that were so close to Christ, and just seeing how they looked inside and out, and just like their attributes about them, made me wonder what it would be like to get closer to God. And that's honestly what made me turn to be like, okay, maybe I do, you know, want to start going to church again and things like that. But I'm a very like isolated person. I don't really live around like family or friends, so I was always super scared to go. And then my brother asked me one Sunday, like, do you want to go to church? I'm like, yes, I've been wanting to go, but I don't want to go by myself. And then I started going to church, and I started watching like more Christian creators and listening to Christian music and like doing all of that. And then I started reading my Bible, and I was like, wait, like, this is crazy. And then my spiritual eyes opened, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, when I look back at videos of myself, like, people think I'm like delusional, crazy, like Jesus freak now, but I'm not even as close to God as I really want to be. But when I look back at like old videos of me, and I used to cuss all the time, like, and I would just feel like I had to show my body to feel beautiful or sexy or whatever, it literally repulses me and just makes me so sad, because I was trying to find so much validation through my appearance and the world. Brands like Playboy, like Juicy Couture, which I still like Juicy Couture now, but just not to the extent that I was just so consumed by like Pink, Playboy, Juicy Couture, 2000s. That's what I am. Like, no, that doesn't define who I am. But I put those labels on myself, and it just makes me sad, like, looking back at that version of myself, because I was like screaming internally for validation from other people, like in an external way, if that makes sense. I don't know, but that's how I wanted to turn to get closer to God. Someone said, how to not lose your pink while raising a boy, first time mom doing me. My thing is, like, I love pink. I'm not gonna switch my whole identity and who I am as a person just because I'm a mom. That's something that like I really truly did not, like, could not fathom. When I got pregnant at 19, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm a mom, but I still want to be myself. So I honestly went to like the opposite end of the spectrum and just went like that crazy, and was wearing crop tops and like cussing all the time and just being like overly like sexual and like promiscuous, and you can do it in a way that's yourself, like just taking the time to fill your cup up in the morning, do what makes you feel pretty, do what makes you feel girly, and you can still be a mom to a boy. I do think being a single mom to a boy is something that is so hard. I don't even want to say master, because it's just not a thing. Like, kids need 2 parents in the home. I stand by that. I was a single mom for like 2 to 3 years, and it was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through. Children are not meant to grow up that way, and obviously we can't help our circumstances. I chose to put myself in that situation because I didn't want to be a relationship that I was treated less than what I'm worth. Even though I did that, I can recognize that this is not the best, situation for my son. And I did see certain things that like he was affected by being raised by a mom. Like, when you're raised by a woman and you're a little boy, like, you don't get to see those like manly like attributes about a man and like what makes somebody a man. And I'm not a man, so I can't teach my son how to be a man if I'm a woman. You see what I'm saying? I can be myself. I can be the girly mom that I want to be, and also do your research and just try to be the best mom to a boy that you can. And obviously, if you're married and you have a husband in the home, it's so much easier for you because you can be yourself and still have that masculine energy in the home to teach and build your little boy up in the way that a man should grow. You said, what is something that you struggle with in your faith? A lot of things, girl. I struggle with a lot of things. So I want to start off by saying some things that I'm working through that I mentioned earlier is insecurities, jealousy, comparison, anxiety, unbelief sometimes, just fear in general. Like, those are some things that I really struggle with in my faith. And I ask God to give me a clean heart. And when you ask for a clean heart, like, he's gonna convict you of things, and that's where like the spirit of pride comes in that I notice sometimes, or like insecurities or the comparison. I really just have to like riddle with that and figure out where it's coming from, where it's stemming from, pray about it. Yeah, that's what I'm like struggling with. And also just being consistent and realizing that my faith should not be works based. Like, I can't work my way to be like the best Christian ever. That's not how it works. Like, he already paid for our sins. He died on the cross. I just have to love him with my whole heart, pick up my cross every single day so that I can be with him when we're not here anymore. But anyways, girl, that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. If you guys want to have a little chat down below, what are y'all struggling with? If you guys have any tips for me, please let me know, because I'm so new in the faith. Girl, I don't know. Okay, this is the last question. How was your journey with changing and giving it all to God? Like rap music, hanging with friends that drink and smoke, but you're trying to stop. I need tips to keep myself distance, right? Girl, I've been there. That was the whole year of 2024 for me. I used to have a friend that would always want to, go out and drink. She didn't smoke, but this friend, I didn't really know how to exactly tell her. Well, I tried telling her about my faith, and I tried telling her about that I didn't want to go out anymore. I didn't want to, do all that stuff. And she would reply with things that were just like, oh girl, like, we're in our 20s, don't be a granny, like, come on, let's go outside, let's do this and that. And it's like, that has nothing for me. And then when I, would tell her I'm getting baptized and things like that, she'd be like, for what? Like, it wasn't like a friend that you could bring into your space and try to have them understand where you're coming from and things like that. Like, it was either I had to continue doing those things and be her friend, or I had to separate myself and know that that was what was best for me. And that's what I did, because it's not that I wanted to cut her off just because she wasn't on the same exact path that I was at. It was that she completely disrespected the path that I was on, and that's when I took the decision, and I was like, well, that chapter is closed, because it's not my job to expect you to be where I'm at in my relationship with God, to be the same place that you're at. Like, that's just not a thing for me. And I think for me, it's just like, if you're not going to respect where I'm at in this chapter in my life, obviously I can no longer be friends with you. And that's just something that you have to consider. Like, if you're wanting to move forward and do things differently, like, change doesn't happen without change. So you're gonna have to like let those friends know that you don't want to do those things anymore, that you guys can go, do things that you guys enjoy doing that aren't drinking or partying or smoking. A lot of people are not going to understand what journey you're on. They're gonna be like, what are you doing? You're crazy, you're psycho. But it's because you're not making them comfortable in the things that they're doing. It's the same thing as the people who comment under my videos and they're like, I miss the Playboy Jade, I miss the Playboy Pink Jade. It's because this version of me makes them uncomfortable, because they were more comfortable with the old version of myself. I can't help that, girl. We live and we grow. I'm 25, I'm not 22 anymore, and it is what it is. As far as rap music, I've been way better this past month. Before, I would only only listen to rap music like in the gym, because I feel like in every song there's just something that's like GD or says something about Jesus or is like just disrespecting Christianity overall, and I can't listen to that. But I do love a good beat, girl. So if you have any good Christian rap music or R&B down below, please let me know. But other than that, like, I don't really want to listen to something that just sounds demonic. Somebody said, what's your 30 before 30? Girl, I get to think about that. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. But that's it for this Q&A. I hope you guys liked this Q&A. I hope you guys got some answers, and I hope you guys can respect everything that I laid out on the table and, you know, was vulnerable about in this video, because it's hard to do that. I just want to thank you guys for all your love and support. I thank you for every single one of you guys who has been there with me since the very beginning. I'm just so grateful for those of you who have stuck around during this journey and me evolving and becoming a woman and having standards for myself, and just people who are more willing to understand and have grace and understand that people grow and change. Like, I love you so much for that, and I'm so grateful for you. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, girl, make sure that you put a pink bow emoji down below so that I know that you made it all the way to the end of this video, girl, which means that you're a real one and we are like this. Okay, that's gonna be it for this video. Make sure you guys comment down below what videos you guys want to see next. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one.